look at what arrived today. It's my Stanwood yarn winder. I finally took the plunge and I ordered one. It was on sale on Amazon and I was like, yes, please. So let's unbox it. I didn't see anything on YouTube of like the setup or whatever. There were some people using it and like reviews and stuff, but I didn't see anybody unbox it and then like do the initial setup. So hopefully someday this video will help somebody out there. So let's do that. Okay, first thing in the box, paper, hopefully instructions. Perfect. How to use your metal yarn ball winder. Okay, it is 4 different steps, so I'll set that aside. I'm so excited. Okay, comes in pieces. Bubble wrap galore. Throw that aside. Okay, here's the winding plate. It's pretty large. Put that there. This is my industrial serger from my old sewing business. More bubble wrap. I did wrap it good, so that is nice. Oh, it's heavy. Okay. Let's take everything out of the box. Okay, this is the arm. Okay, everything's now out of the box. So 1 pieces, 2 pieces. I'm assuming this is the mechanism. Yep. Okay, so there's a foam brick there. Probably to help it from bumping when it's shipping. Remove that. Okay, here we go. Oh, it says you need to remove this little piece here. You can see it, that little white piece. It says remove, pull down. So, perfect. Okay, step 1 on the instructions here. Place the feeding wire arm between the washer and base plate. Position the wire arm so the end loop is behind the small Phillips screw. This helps lock the wire arm and prevents it from moving. Hand tighten the butterfly screw to secure the wire arm. Okay. To the winding plate. Okay, so the butterfly screw is this thing here. And it wants me to take the arm, this end of the arm, the hook there, and place it under the butterfly screw. But I do need to loosen the screw. The screw is here to help keep the arm tight, so that's pretty cool. So hopefully that's enough there. Editing Melissa here. I realized that I did this part wrong, so I am inserting this video instead with the step 1 instructions. The feeding wire arm is supposed to go behind the small Phillips screw that I was just talking about and not in between the wing nut and the screw. So if you look at the instructions here, it does clearly state that. Okay. All right, so that was step 1. Step 2. Tightly clamp the winder to the edge of a sturdy table. My sturdy table is here. I need to loosen it more. Oh, I guess I was tightening it. Bear with me. It's a Monday. Now, I did see somebody else say online that it worked best for them if they kept the ball of yarn or skein of yarn to the right of the Stanwood mixer. I am going to go against that guy's judgment, and I like to hold mine over here just because of the way my table is set up. So I will be holding my ball of yarn to the left to start. If I need to change it, I can. So keep that in mind. I don't know how true it is, I don't know. Okay, so I have to tighten it under the table. I always make sure it's very, very secure. I've had them pop off on me before, but like a cheapy brand. Okay, so that's pretty tight. Step 3, align the bobbin and the base of the winder at the location shown by each arrow. Oh, sorry, the arrows are on here. So you can see the arrows, the little black marks. So it says on the base of here. Oh, I see. So they're pointing to these little lips here. So where my thumb and my index finger is, you can see there's like a lip there. Basically, you need you to screw it onto here, like all mixers basically, and make sure it clamps down. Okay, so that's pretty secure there. So that's what step 3 was. Turn the bobbin clockwise, which I did to lock it down. Step 4 is to thread the yarn first through the distal wire arm, the distal wire arm, and then through the proximal wire arm. And finally position it tightly to the cleft of the bobbin. Begin turning the crank on the ball winder to start winding. Okay, let's see. I've seen it like on a YouTube video, so you see the arm moving around there. So I'm assuming, let me see which one the distal is. Yarn first through the distal wire. Okay, so this is the distal one, the taller one there. So the one that's more distant from you, distant. And then through the proximal, which is this one that moves right here. Okay, so we might as well give it a try. I have some blanket yarn here that I bought basically specifically for this. Sorry, not the yarn, but the winder for the blanket yarn. So I would really like to do a full skein. That's basically what I really want to test this out with. Let's do a neon one. So this one is Neon Coral Bernat Blanket. And this is a full skein. I have not used it yet. So let's find the center full and see if this will do 10 ounces. I'm very excited. If you couldn't tell. Okay, so I will start it from the angle that I have you at right now. All right, then we're gonna go through this one here. This one's a bit easier. Okay, I'm gonna put it through the top piece to hold it secure. All right, which way do I might have to turn it the same way every time. So right now I'm turning it counterclockwise, and we can test that too. I always keep a good tension on the yarn here, just so the cake turns out nice, not like loosey-goosey, because nobody likes that. Okay, it looks like we're off to the races. I do keep a little tension on the ball. So I just put my fist on it here. So far pretty smooth. It's really quiet, which is nice. Some that I've had that are cheapy brands are way too noisy. Okay, that's quite nice. So keep in mind this is a 10.5 ounce skein. Stanwood winders are known to do 10 ounce, but 10.5, we'll see. I don't know. Okay, so there is some resistance here. So it's not a full skein, but it's very close. So I'm guessing the last 0.5 ounces I'm not going to get because the proximity arm here is reaching it. It is heading up against here. So that's where I'm getting the resistance from. When it swings around this way, it's touching it right there. So what I'm going to do, what I personally like to do, is I'm not going to cut the skein here. I will wrap the rest of this around the cake by hand, because then at least it's still in one cake, right, instead of 2 different cakes. So 10 ounce skein, I think you would be good. I'll see if I have one. Okay, so I have you move closer now. So you can see here, this is what I did to the cake that I just wound. I took the extra and I wrapped it around myself. Sure, it doesn't turn out super pretty, but that's okay. So this is known to hold 10 ounces. This was 10.5, and it looks like all Bernat blanket yarn is 10.5 ounces. You can see it. The skein of yarn you see me winding here is Toasted Birch Bernat blanket yarn. It's a beautiful color. This skein, I had already used some out of it, so it was 10 ounces on the dot. So the 0.5 ounces I had already used, and I wanted to see if the Stanwood would hold the 10 ounces like it says. Okay, so I time-lapsed that. The only thing I did notice is the proximity arm here, this one that swings around. It did hit and last like 3 or 4 times around at the very top of the cake here. But this is 10 ounces. It did do it. If I would have stopped when it hit the arm, then I probably would have had about 5 meters left on the skein. But I pushed through it. It worked fine. Yarn I have wound so far tonight, a few hours later, is blanket yarn. So I really want to do a thinner yarn to see how it does on this. I am a little worried only because the middle post here, like this thing, is quite large. So I do wonder if the cake will be too, I don't know, empty in the middle, and it won't, you know, turn out nice, and it'll be too floppy of a cake, if you will, with a thinner yarn like this. I might be completely wrong, but let's find out. So this is a very partial piece of Caron cotton cake. It is 60% cotton, 40% acrylic. Very nice to work with. I'm glad this arrived tonight. I had checked the tracking as I left work, and it wasn't here yet. But by the time I drove the 8 minutes home, it was here. So that was exciting. Okay, so here we go. And I have no problem, like, if this, like, you know, gets all messy and stuff, because I've already done the project that I need to do with it. So it's not bad. It's better than I thought it would be. So it's a little squishy, but it's going to hold its shape. So very cool. I am impressed. I've yet to do a worsted weight with it, but I will do that as well for this video. You see it behind me? Look at that. All of my blanket yarn is now wound into cakes, minus the smaller balls of yarn that I want to put from 3 small balls, for example, or 3 small cakes into 1. I am not going to wind up those ogos over there, these ones. If I move my arm correctly. I'm not going to wind those up. I'm going to donate those. They're not something I'm going to reach for. So it's going to go to somebody who will reach for them. Like the charity in Stratford that I support, Blankets for Canada, Stratford chapter. Future Melissa here. Today is Sunday, May 19th. I realized I never filmed an outro to this little video. So I've had my Stanwood now for about 3 weeks, and I have been using it almost daily. Just still trying to get, you know, things in order around my house. I have made some scrap cakes with it. Turned out really great. I wasn't paying attention. I accidentally let the tension from my hand slip, and they turned out a little funny, but that's okay. With tension still being, you know, tight, the scrap cakes turned out really nice. I have wound other yarns with it, and I have no complaints. Everything has been great with it. and I've really enjoyed using it. And of course now, here comes the dog, 'cause he wants to say thanks for watching the video as well. As the young kids here on YouTube say, be sure to smash that like button down below, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment. If you have any questions about the Stanwood, I'd be happy to answer them. I got mine off of Amazon. Luckily there was like a big sale and it was time to, you know, finally invest in one. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope this video just helps someone out. If you're curious about getting a Stanwood, I would recommend it. I've heard the Knit Picks one that's much cheaper is also good, but I wanted this one for the sheer size of what it will allow.